$9 million. That's what Bayer alone spent lobbying in 2025 to keep your lawn locked into a system that devours 1,500 gallons of water per 100 square feet every single year. Fertilizers, pesticides, irrigation, all engineered to keep you buying. But there's a drought-proof supergrass these corporations have spent decades burying. And the reason starts at your nearest big box store. Rows of fertilizer, seed, and weed killer bundles line the shelves at every big box retailer. The pitch is simple. Buy the 4-bag Scott's Turf Builder Bundle for $20, and you get everything needed for a lush green lawn. Each bag promises a quick fix, greener grass, fewer weeds, fewer worries. But the way these products are packaged and placed is no accident. Bundles are stacked at eye level right where shoppers reach first. The planogram, corporate term for shelf layout, gives bundled products the prime real estate, pushing drought-tolerant options to the bottom row or out of sight. The bundle itself is not just a deal, it is an invitation into a cycle. One bag for seeding, another for feeding, one for killing weeds, and a final winterizer to keep you coming back as the seasons turn. The more you use, the more you need. Every bundle sold locks in another season of chemical dependency, all under the promise of convenience and value. This is where the money chain begins, not in the boardroom, but at the shelf, where the illusion of an easy one-stop solution keeps homeowners reaching for the same products year after year. Scott's Miracle-Gro's business extends far beyond the retail shelf. In 2015, the company sold its lawn care service division to TruGreen for $200 million, locking in a powerful partnership and a steady stream of service revenue. $288 million that year alone. These numbers are not just impressive, they fuel an even larger engine. With profits like these, major brands have the resources to shape public policy and protect their turf, literally and figuratively. Federal lobbying records show Scott's spent $670,000 in 2025 to influence legislation on agriculture and water use. Bayer, another industry heavyweight, poured $9.19 million into lobbying that same year, targeting pesticide regulations and research funding. This cash flow does not just buy ads or shelf space, it buys access and influence in Washington, keeping water-hungry lawns at the center of suburban life. The cycle of sales and lobbying ensures that high-maintenance grass varieties remain the norm, making real change difficult and keeping consumers tied to a system that benefits the companies most. A typical lawn demands more than just a few bags of fertilizer or a quick spray for weeds. Every 100 square feet of Kentucky bluegrass or tall fescue draws down 1,200 to 1,500 gallons of water each year, enough to fill a dozen bathtubs for a patch no bigger than a bedroom. The bill doesn't stop with water. Extension tables and utility records show homeowners pouring on 10 to 12 pounds of nitrogen fertilizer per 100 square feet, season after season. Multiply that by an average yard, and the chemical load climbs fast, spilling past the curb with each heavy rain, seeping into streams and drinking water supplies. The costs stack up quietly. Higher water bills, recurring trips for lawn chemicals, and a growing environmental tab that rarely shows up on a statement. Now scale that up. Municipal programs estimate that switching even a fraction of lawns to lower input turf could save cities 1.8 billion gallons of water every year, enough to supply thousands of homes. For families, the drain is personal, but the impact reaches far beyond the backyard. Buffalo grass and micro-clover do not just survive on less, they are built for it. Turf specialists point to what is happening below the surface. Buffalo grass sends roots down as far as 6 feet, tapping moisture that shallow-rooted turf cannot reach. This deep root system means it can go weeks without rain or irrigation, bouncing back green after dry spells that leave conventional lawns brown and brittle. Micro-clover brings its own advantage. It is a legume, so it draws nitrogen straight from the air and fixes it in the soil. That is an invisible fertilizer factory working all season, delivering 30 to 50 pounds of nitrogen per acre each year without a single bag of synthetic feed. University field trials show that after the first year, both species need little to no added fertilizer. The result is a living carpet that keeps growing when others wilt, and a soil that stays rich and balanced without constant chemical input. For homeowners, this means less worry about drought and fewer trips to buy fertilizer, just grass that takes care of itself. A certified landscaper lays out the numbers on a printed invoice, 2 columns, one for a standard bluegrass lawn, the other for a new buffalo grass installation. The difference jumps off the page. Over a single growing season, the bluegrass lawn racks up 24 to 30 mowing visits, almost every week. Buffalo grass gets just 8 to 12 cuts, and micro-clover blends fall in the same range. That is a calendar with whole months left blank, and a mower that spends more time in the shed than on the turf. Pesticide treatments tell a similar story. Conventional lawns need 3 to 5 chemical applications a year, each one another line item on the bill. The buffalo grass invoice lists 0. Micro-clover, with its dense nitrogen-rich canopy, usually calls for 1 or none. Extension trial summaries back up the savings. Annual maintenance costs for the super grass plot come in $750 lower than the traditional lawn. That's not a projection. It's what homeowners see when the season wraps and the checks are tallied. Less mowing, fewer chemicals, lower bills. For families weighing the true cost of a green yard, these numbers turn the science into real-world money in their pocket. Concerns about switching to buffalo grass or micro-clover often start with appearance. Turf specialists from Texas A&M and Colorado State point out that these grasses, when kept at a mowing height of 2 to 3 inches, match the dense, even look most homeowners expect. In side-by-side field trials, over 80% of participants rated the visual appeal as equal to or better than traditional bluegrass lawns. Durability comes up next, especially for families with kids, pets, or heavy foot traffic. Extension studies show buffalo grass holds up to regular use, while micro-clover blends can be overseeded with hardy rye or Bermuda in high-traffic zones. For dog owners, both options recover quickly from digging or wear, provided the turf is established and not waterlogged. Regional fit is another common worry. United States Department of Agriculture hardiness maps confirm buffalo grass thrives from Zone 4 through 9, stretching from the Dakotas to North Texas and across much of the Midwest. Micro-clover adapts well in all but the hottest, driest corners of the Southwest. One last question is water during establishment. While both grasses need regular moisture for the first few weeks, about a quarter inch 2 or 3 times a week, this tapers off quickly. After root systems develop, irrigation drops to a fraction of what conventional lawns demand. These answers clear the way for real-world examples where the numbers and results speak for themselves. Maria Sanchez remembers the first summer after her Phoenix neighborhood switched to buffalo grass and micro-clover. Before the change, the HOA's water bill read like a warning. Month after month, thousands of gallons poured onto brittle, thirsty sod. Then came the retrofit. By the end of the year, utility records showed a drop of 18,200 gallons for the community's main lawn areas. That translated to $2,400 saved, money that used to vanish with every cycle of the sprinklers. The city's own data confirm it. For every square foot of thirsty grass replaced, Phoenix homeowners pocket about $6 a year and save 50 gallons of water. The numbers are not just projections. They are printed on bills, verified by meter readings, and tracked by the city's water department. Maria's story is not an outlier. Across the city, HOA boards and homeowners are seeing the same results. The switch is not about sacrifice. It is about keeping lawns green without draining the desert dry. Here's how to get started with a drought-proof, low-maintenance lawn. No guesswork, just a clear plan. First, test your soil pH and texture with a kit or by sending a sample to your local extension office. Next, map out which areas get full sun and which stay shaded. Buffalo grass thrives in sun, while micro-clover does well in partial shade. Third, prep your soil by loosening the top 4 inches and mixing in compost for healthy roots. Fourth, choose your planting method. Lay buffalo grass sod or plugs in early spring or fall, or broadcast micro-clover seed mixed with sand for even coverage. Keep new plantings lightly moist, about a quarter inch of water 2 or 3 times a week until roots are established. After that, cut back to deep, infrequent watering. Mow buffalo grass to 2 or 3 inches and micro-clover to 3 or 4 inches. For a full step-by-step guide, download the free checklist and extension planting instructions at the link below. With these 5 steps, you can start building a resilient, eco-friendly lawn today. Right now, nearly 80% of American yards still rely on thirsty, chemical-dependent turf. But every buffalo grass seed sown breaks that cycle, saving water, money, and time. The choice is no longer hidden. The future of your lawn is in your hands. What would real freedom look like on your block?